Hi friends, welcome back to another video of Math with Miss Motala. So today we are looking at multiplying and dividing integers, and so I'm going to give you the rules and a method to use so that it becomes easier for you to do. So the general rule is, and so you have probably seen this or come across this, is that when you are multiplying integers that are the same, it is always going to be a positive. And that applies with two negative integers or two positive integers. It is always going to be a positive. If you are multiplying integers that are different, so a negative multiplied by a positive, it's always going to be a negative, or a positive multiplied by a negative, it is always going to be a negative. This same rule applies to division, so I can just change that multiplication sign to a division sign, and the same rule stands. So this is the general rule that you are following. So whenever you are multiplying or dividing integers with the same sign, it always becomes a positive. When you're multiplying or dividing integers with different signs, it always becomes a negative. So this is the rule that you can follow, but I'm also going to show you a strategy to use when you're working so that you don't always have to remember that rule. You can always just use this strategy to help you out. So let's get ourselves a question here, and we're going to try to work our way through it. So the question I'm just going to give you is, what is negative 9 multiplied by 6? Okay, so according to the rule, I know that my answer is going to be what? It's going to be a negative because my integers are different. So I know that that's going to be my negative, and my answer will be a negative. And with multiplication of integers, you just multiply, and the sign comes from the rule. So we know that 9 times 6 is 54, and according to the rule, it's going to be a negative. And I'm going to show you a different way of looking at this without the rule, and that is, so before you start a multiplication or division activity of integers, you can draw yourself this lovely triangle of multiplication or division, and I think this is probably one of the quickest and easiest strategies to use. In your two bottom corners, you want to put two negative signs, and in the very top of your triangle, you want to put a positive sign. So then when you look at your expression that you're trying to solve, so in this case, I have a negative and a positive, and you can use anything you want just to cover up those signs. So on this triangle, I know that my 9 was a negative, so I covered that up. And I know that my 6 is a positive, so I covered that up. And that left me with the sign of a negative. That tells me that my answer is going to be a negative. So using this triangle, you can figure out that your answer here, or your product, because we're multiplying, your product is going to be a negative integer. Okay, so let's do another question, and you can see how you can use the triangle to do that. So let's say I have negative 5 times negative 8. Okay, so I already know from the rules I can use the rules, or I can use my triangle. So in this case, I have a negative 5, so I take one of my magnets here, and I'm going to cover up the negative sign. And I see my next integer is also a negative sign, so I take my other magnet and I cover up that negative sign. So I know that my product is going to be a positive because that is the only integer that's showing as a positive integer. And then I just do multiplication. So what is 5 times 8? And 5 times 8 is 40. Okay, so you can use either the triangle method, or you can just memorize the rules, whatever works for you. This same concept works with division. I'm going to show you an example with division as well, so you have that too. So we saw that it works for for multiplication to find the product. I'm going to show you how it works to find the quotient. So when we're dividing integers. Okay, so let's say my first division statement is negative 54 divided by positive 2. So again, you can apply the rules, or I can go to my triangle, and if I go to my triangle, I say, okay, my first integer is a negative integer, so 54 is a negative integer. I'm going to cover up that negative sign. My second integer is a positive integer. I'm going to cover up that positive sign. It leaves me with a negative integer. So I know my answer is going to be a negative integer. And then I just have to do the division. 54 divided by 2 is just 54 cut into 2 equal parts. And 54 cut into 2 equal parts is 27. So that tells me that my answer is a negative 27. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more example. And now let's say I have a negative 8 divided by a negative 2. Oh, it's actually a negative, it's a negative 4. We just did 2 in the previous question. So a negative 4. And again, if I'm using my triangle, I look at my triangle and I say my first integer is a negative integer, so I'm going to cover up that negative sign. I look at my second integer, it's also a negative integer, so I'm going to cover up that negative sign, and it tells me that my integer this time is going to be a positive. So my answer is going to be a positive, and then I'm saying, what is 8 divided by 4? So what is 8 divided equally into 4 parts? So my quotient is going to be 2. In this case. So I hope this explains it. You can either use the rules, so you'll have to memorize the rules, and the rules would be the same for multiplication or division. So this could be a multiplication or a division, and it'll always be the same here. So it doesn't matter if you're finding the product or the quotient. 2 negatives equal a positive, 2 positives equal a positive. And again, it doesn't matter if you're finding the product or the quotient. When you have a negative and a positive, it will always equal a negative. When you have a positive and a negative, it will always equal a negative. Or you can use the triangle, which is just draw yourself a triangle at the top of your page when you're multiplying or dividing integers. And then you have the 2 negative signs at the bottom of your triangle and your positive sign at the top of the triangle. And then you just cover up the signs according to the expression. The sign that is exposed is the sign that you use for your answer or your sum, your product or your quotient. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Again, there is another video that you can watch if this one doesn't clarify your answer.